Hey, 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 hey. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Leslie. I'm the creator of selfloveempowers.com. Please be sure to click the subscribe button. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about when God says no. Like, I feel like I've been wanting to do this topic for a long time. So, you've prayed for that man, that specific man, like, God, is this my husband? Because, like, I mean, he's been like looking at me, I don't know. And you prayed for the job, you did the work, you edited the resume, you showed up on time, you researched, and you don't get the job, and the relationship doesn't work out, or he doesn't even notice you. He rejects you. The opportunity goes to someone else. And you're like, but God, I prayed. But God, I'm qualified. But God. And you're like, why did he say no? And you're like, you know what? Maybe he just said not right now. Because, God does do that. Sometimes he says, no, you're not ready right now, but later on, this will be your blessing. Whether it's that man, that woman, or that job or whatever. But sometimes God literally says no. And I think for me, I was struggling to know when God was saying no to me in certain situations where I had to move, because I couldn't hear his voice, because my level of discernment was not in a good place, because I wasn't really reading the word but expecting him to speak to me. And God does still speak to me even, when I'm not in my word, but I've been struggling with that. I've never felt like I heard a voice that just says, Leslie, don't do that. I thought that was what I was supposed to hear. He always would speak to me through different people, and I didn't know that's what he was doing. But then I realized, like, that's the Holy Spirit. Like, that's God right there. So this video is just talking about what to do when he says no. And I'm going to tell you what I did so you don't do that. There were situations in my life where God told me no. And I would say, like, certain relationships. And I didn't know he was saying no, but I feel like I did. It was kind of like there were red flag after red flag. And at first you're like, just because there's a bad situation or you have a trial does not mean God is saying no. Doesn't mean that you will not suffer, right? But I noticed in the past there would be like a multitude of negative things, like one after the other. And I would pray, I'd be like, God, if this man is not for me, remove him from my life. And then some crazy stuff would happen with the dude. He would do some crazy psycho stuff where it'd be like, oh, hell no, that is not my husband. But I'd be like, no, we can work it out. He's a good person. He's a Christian. That's a whole nother video, because just because he's a Christian doesn't mean he's your Christian, man. Just saying. Anyway, but yeah, like, I'm telling myself, like, no, this is a God thing, because God is in it. He's teaching me, through this person, to be better. And sometimes, yes, God does that. And sometimes the person you end up with is complete opposite. And then sometimes the person you're with is not for you. And God tells you that. Sometimes the person that you want to be with is not ready for you. They don't have a serving heart. Maybe sometimes you're not ready. And I feel like God has told me that before too. And, I do think God gives us free will. So I don't think God is just genuinely going to say to you, your husband's name is John. I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen. But I do think that your relationship must honor God. I do think that that's important. But what do you do when he says no to that relationship that you prayed for with that specific person, or that job opportunity that you want? You be obedient. You accept what God allows. Because we always pray for certain things in our lives. And then when we get the answer, if we don't like the answer, we just like, oh, no. Like, we ignore it. We do our own things. I was ignoring red flag after red flag, even with job opportunities. Like, I felt like it wasn't right, but it was a good opportunity. It looked good on paper, but God was saying no. And I didn't listen. And I stayed in a situation that honestly I feel like prolonged my blessing because I was not obedient. When God says no, you have to be obedient. And I'm not talking about when you say no. A lot of times we say no to ourselves because of fear. We make up our own stuff and we try to use God as a scapegoat. We have to stop doing that. Like, I don't like when people say, no, like, God told me that I shouldn't be with this, like, really awesome guy. I'm like, no, sometimes you're just not into that person. Like, let's be honest about those type of things. You know, we have to be honest with ourselves and stop using God as a scapegoat. I feel like these are like multiple videos within one video. But anyway, my point is, when God says no, you have to be obedient. You have to listen to him. You have to be patient. And you also have to accept what he has allowed and honestly wait and let him move in your life. Trust me, God, anytime I had said to him, please remove something from my life, he showed me signs where it was like, this is not for you. This job opportunity is not for you. This apartment is not for you. That person that you are so in love with is not for you. I have something better, because when God says no, it doesn't mean that he has no yeses for you. It means that the yes that he has for you is so much bigger than the no. Like, you don't see that in the moment, because in the moment you're just like, what? Why didn't I get this? I've prayed, I've tried, I've wanted. Sometimes what you pray for is not even big enough for God. Sometimes what you pray for, God laughs at, like, ha, 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 ha. She has no idea that I have way more in my bag for her. She has no idea. How dare she pray for this job when I have this for her? I have purpose for her. I have empowerment for her, not just another job. I have a life. I have an empowered life for her waiting. She has no idea. So of course I'm going to say no, because it's not even worthy of you, my daughter. It's not even worthy of you, my son. When God says no, it's a blessing. God has said no to me on multiple occasions, and in the moment I didn't understand it. I was crying, I was sad, because I didn't trust God. When you fully trust God, when God says no, you know, you're like, okay, I'm good. And I'm not saying you don't feel any type of emotions. You could be sad a little bit, we're human, but don't stay there, because God has something better for you, and he just wants you to trust him. God's no sometimes protects us. He sees things that we don't see. He might know, like, if you get in that apartment, there's gonna be some type of cockroach situation. He knows. He might be like, that man that you love so much, he got baggage, he got issues, he's abusive, he is not ready for you, he will not be a good husband. I'm telling you, when God says no, he is protecting you, or he is preparing you for his yes. So when God says no, what you do is you accept it, you be obedient, and be grateful that he got your back. Trust me, sometimes you want to know and not a yes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to click the subscribe button. Hit me up on social media. Also check out my website at www.selfloveempowers.com. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.